It's a cheetah! But as much as we're enjoying the peace, the cheetah is not looking for tranquility. This cheetah also seems to be looking for a quick meal.
Well, one thing about going to check the river is not only for river crossings, but where there are potential river crossings, there are also predators following those wildebeest and those zebra that are migrating. So today we are on a mission to see who might be following said wildebeest, and let's see if there's any action.
It's supposed to be a scorching day out on the plains. We've made it out to the heart of the reserve and stumbled upon a scene that is not captured very often. From a distance, you might mistake the grey-brown lumps for termite mounds, but this time, it's a herd of elephants sleeping in the road. An unusual roadblock even by safari standards. On average, these elephants will only get around 2 to 4 hours of sleep a day. The youngsters, maybe a bit more, because they can lie down more easily than the adults, who seem to be, for the moment, using their trunks to balance their heavy bodies. But it's because of those heavy bodies that makes lying down so difficult. Their own weight is enough to press down on their organs and cause great discomfort. So unless there's a mound or something like a fallen tree that they can lean against, you will seldom see them on the ground like these youngsters. They may have also chosen their unusual spot because of the warm soil on the road. It looks like, however, they're ready to hit the road, with some of the adults starting to round up the youngsters. A slow process for a lot of parents, I'm sure. But with them on the move, we aren't going to follow them. We are, however, going to take the gap they've given us and move on. The obvious water source out here is the river, but before we get there, we will be passing an array of wetlands and marshy sections that are a big draw to many animals out here. It's looking like an elephant kind of day. It must have been an icy morning on the top of the escarpment, so they've all come down to warm up with us, just like the ones we had sleeping earlier. And I'm certainly not complaining. I love elephants. One of my favorite things to see on safari. But these two look like they're already trying to cool off. I'm glad they know better than to drink out of the hippo puddle, though. Imagine that taste. Yuck. I really don't want to imagine that. But here, however, the soil appears to be quite porous, which makes it a decent natural filter. And with all the sweet green grass shoots around, I think these elephants are happy camping out here for the day. So we are going to leave them and make our way slowly through the rest of the herd, because why not admire them too, as we make our way closer to the river. There's a serval! There's a serval crossing the road! Wow! I wanted to stop and show you the topi and hartebeest that were gathered at the water. But I'm sure we can all agree a cat on the prowl is not something to gloss over. We have been unbelievably lucky to spend a fair amount of time with these cats on our safaris this far. And I think this may even be the same serval we watched hunting a couple of episodes ago. And I only think that because it's in the same area and they're quite highly territorial, But I haven't actually been able to sit down and take a really good look at any of the identifying features like spot patterns or scars and things like that. So there's every possibility it could be a different one, which would then beg the question, what would happen if these two were to meet one day? Interesting thought. In my mind, there are multiple different outcomes to that question. But let me know in the comments what you think we might be in for if, fingers crossed, we ever get lucky enough to see that interaction in real time. But since we can't get a definite answer to that question right this second, let's pick an easier one to answer. Like, what do you think we're going to see next? And if your answer was a herbivore of almost any kind, you had a fairly decent shot of being right. But this time, it's some buffalo! Enjoying the cool breeze that has begun to tickle our backs. Very pleasant out here. And most of them look relaxed. But there's a few that are looking at something behind us. It's a cheetah! No wonder not all of them were on edge. As much as this cat is still a predator, it's certainly too small for a big herd of buffalo like this to be too fussed over. There's only a couple of other vehicles here with us, so it's really quiet with just the wind blowing through the grass. But as much as we're enjoying the peace, the cheetah is not looking for tranquility. Just like that serval we had earlier, this cheetah also seems to be looking for a quick meal. There is a topee on the hill just above where we're watching from, and this cheetah is keeping a close eye on it. But it doesn't seem convinced, so I wonder what its next move will be, with very few hiding spots to get it much closer to that topee. Oh, it's coming to the vehicle. Okay, I'm going to be quiet now as it walks past. I was holding my breath and I didn't even realize it. It's these types of moments that you never really get over on a safari. But that topee can also breathe a bit of a sigh of relief, because the cheetah seems to have lost interest, at least in this opportunity. But maybe just like the other animals today, she too is looking for a puddle or two to quench her thirst. So on that note, we are close to the river, and I think we could also use some water. So let's see if there's an open spot to have a break and stretch our legs for a little bit. It looks as though we aren't the only ones who had the idea to stretch out by the river. Oh well, there are many worse things, in my opinion, than giving up your drink spot to a lion. But this is not a lion we've come across before. And if it is who I think it is, then there should be another male around here somewhere. So we'll have to keep a keen eye on those bushes. But This is one of the much older males that hangs around the river with his coalition partner. However, they are normally found on the opposite bank. So, what made them decide to cross crocodile-infested waters just to get here? And this safari has certainly given us many puzzle pieces to find and posed many questions for us to try and answer. But I would love to hear what questions you would like answered in the comment section down below, while I try to look for an unoccupied spot to finally get a drink of water.